All right, let's cut through the noise. Honestly, we gotta stop acting like women are some kind of impossible puzzle, you know? They really aren't. Sure, they're emotional beings, beautiful, complex, absolutely. But trust me, there are definitely cracks in the armor if you know how to look. And honestly, if you learn where to focus, you'll see exactly what makes them melt, what sparks that chase reflex, and yeah, even what keeps them up at night thinking about you. Now, this isn't about cheap tricks or shady manipulation, not at all. It's really about seeing the genuine stuff, the real emotional landscape that most guys just completely miss because they're too busy trying way too hard. While most dudes are scrambling and overdoing it, the smart ones, they're pressing on the right pressure points, those silent emotional triggers that resonate deep down. So in this video, we're diving straight into the top 9 female weaknesses every man should understand. Some of these might genuinely surprise you, some will probably make you grin in recognition, and a few, well, you're likely going to wish you'd known them years ago. Let's just get into it. No fluff, no filters, pure stoic power meeting primal understanding. First up, confidence that doesn't ask for permission. Let's be absolutely real here. Women are kind of addicted to confidence, but not the loud, show-offy, look-at-me nonsense. We're talking about that quiet, unshakable kind, you know? The kind that walks into a room like it doesn't need applause, that doesn't whisper, "Am I good enough?" because it already damn well knows. That right there, that's the weakness. See, most guys are constantly chasing validation. They bombard with compliments over text, try way too hard to prove they're different. But honestly, women can sniff that desperation out like blood in the water. Real confidence, it doesn't chase, it doesn't explain itself. That's rare. And honestly, that's sexy as hell. It's the guy who doesn't flinch when she plays little games. It's the guy comfortable with silences, who doesn't rush to fill every gap with nervous chatter. It's the man who speaks when he's ready, not just because he's jumpy. She might act tough, she might pretend she's running the show, but when a man stands his ground without ego, effortlessly, it kind of short-circuits her brain. Why? Because deep down, her feminine energy craves surrendering to strength. Not brute force, but emotional strength. The guy who can hold his own, take the lead naturally, and make her feel utterly safe without even seeming to try, he occupies her thoughts without breaking a sweat. So seriously, don't try harder, stand taller, walk a bit slower, speak less. Let your energy say what your mouth doesn't need to. That's her favorite weakness, and you barely have to lift a finger. Number 2, being understood without having to spell every single thing out. Here's the raw truth. Most women are just exhausted from constantly explaining themselves. They're tired of saying, "I'm fine," and not being believed. Tired of men assuming every emotional moment means she's being too much. Tired of feeling invisible. You want to know one of her biggest weaknesses? A man who just gets it without her needing a detailed PowerPoint presentation. You don't need psychic powers. You just need to be present. Notice when she goes quiet. Feel the shift when her tone changes just a little. Read the room when her energy dips or spikes. Most guys totally miss this stuff because they're too busy rehearsing their next line instead of tuning into what she's feeling right now. But when you actually look at her, pause and simply say something like, "Hey, something feels off. Talk to me when you're ready." That hits different. It tells her, this man sees me. I don't have to perform or put on a front with him. I can just be soft here. And bro, that's exactly where her walls start tumbling down. Because women don't truly fall in love with men who just dazzle them. They fall for the ones who make them feel profoundly understood. So don't immediately jump to advice. Don't try to fix everything instantly. Just feel her. Be attuned. That level of connection, it's incredibly rare, and it taps into one of her deepest emotional vulnerabilities. Third point, masculine silence in the right moments. Okay, here's a cheat code most guys never figure out. Silence can be a powerful weapon.
Not the manipulative silent treatment, not ignoring her. I'm talking about stoic silence, the kind that calmly says, I'm not reacting right now. I'm observing. In a world drowning in noise, a man who knows exactly when to shut up, that's dangerous in the best way. He doesn't chase for a response. He doesn't over-explain his stance. He doesn't scramble to win some petty argument. He just pauses, watches, and waits with his incredible stillness. That quiet presence, it's magnetic because it radiates a calm power. She's used to guys blowing up when she tests him, used to boys reacting emotionally, begging her, trying to shout her down. But when she hits you with emotional chaos and you respond with nothing but pure, unruffled calm, boom, she's hooked. And she might not even understand why. Your silence makes her second-guess her own games. It makes her look inward. It subtly shifts her back into her feminine energy, while you stay firmly grounded in that masculine calm. This is where attraction deepens significantly because you're not just another guy trying desperately to impress her. You're a man who can handle absolutely anything without losing your composure. And that, my friend, is one of her secret cravings. The ability to lean into your quiet strength precisely when she feels lost in the noise. Let your silence do the talking. Honestly, it often says far more than words ever could. 4 is deep eye contact that just doesn't flinch. Look, eye contact isn't just some basic confidence check. It's about dominance, raw desire, and something intangible that women feel deep in their gut, something they can't always explain. Most guys either glance away way too fast, nervous, or they stare like a creep trying way too hard to prove something. But the man who can lock eyes, stay completely relaxed, and maybe offer just a hint of a knowing smirk, game over. Seriously. Because your eyes tell her everything. Who's grounded, who's nervous, who's genuinely leading, who's chasing, who's truly comfortable in his own skin, and who's just faking it. When you look her right in the eyes while staying utterly relaxed, it creates instant, palpable sexual tension. You're not trying to win her over right then. You're just letting her see the fire within you, wordlessly. That kind of sustained, calm eye contact flips a primal switch in her brain. This guy isn't scared of me. He sees me, and he's not backing down. You don't need clever pickup lines or elaborate games. Just look, hold that gaze naturally, and maybe smile a little like you already know she's thinking about you. Because once she feels that quiet power radiating from you, she'll remember your face long, long after the conversation ends. Sign 5 taps into her need for mysterious depth. Let's get something straight. Women are naturally curious creatures, not in a nosy, gossipy way, but in a deep, soulful way. They genuinely crave depth. Not the kind you spill out in a messy therapy session on the first date, but the kind you hint at, like a fascinating book with a few crucial pages deliberately missing. A woman's fifth weakness, she gets utterly hooked by mystery, by thoughtful silence, by stories only partially told. Now, I'm absolutely not saying be some cryptic weirdo who makes no sense. I'm saying don't hand her your entire life story and emotional blueprint right up front. Most guys overshare way too soon, mistakenly thinking emotional dumping equals real bonding. That's usually just noise and can be overwhelming. The real move? Be open, but layered. Let her earn pieces of you, like assembling a compelling puzzle. Tell her an interesting story, and maybe stop halfway, leaving her wanting more. Make her lean in with genuine curiosity. Give her a glance that subtly says you've lived through things she might never fully understand, but could perhaps come close to one day. Women often want to explore a man like he's a secret garden. If you're too obvious, too easily figured out, she'll likely walk away bored pretty quickly. But if there's a storm hinted at in your past, a shadow behind your easy smile, a touch of pain you've somehow turned into quiet poetry, she'll stay. She'll dig deeper. She'll feel drawn in. Mystery makes you incredibly memorable. Don't be a locked box. Be an intriguing maze with real meaning. That's her fifth weakness, that innate urge to figure you out. Feed that urge, sure, but do it slowly, deliberately. never all at once.
Sign 6 is her undeniable soft spot for a man with purpose, not just passion. There's this strange, powerful thing that happens when a man walks into a room radiating a sense of mission. Everything else kind of slows down. The background music fades, the chatter shrinks, and all the small talk gets swallowed up by something far bigger, his presence. Now, you've probably heard a million times that women love ambition, but honestly, that's not quite hitting the mark. Ambition alone is like a caffeine buzz. It wakes you up fast, but burns out just as quickly. What she truly aches for deep down is a man anchored by purpose, that slow-burning, steady fire that doesn't flicker wildly with every breeze. Let's break it down simply. Passion is mostly about intense feeling. Purpose is fundamentally about direction. Passion shouts, "I love this." Purpose calmly states, "This is why I'm here." A woman's sixth weakness is her profound attraction to a man who's demonstrably going somewhere meaningful, not just a man who gets excited about random stuff. She naturally wants to orbit something bigger than herself. And you simply can't be that kind of gravitational center if your whole life revolves around Netflix, gym selfies, and endless TikTok scrolling. You ever meet that guy who doesn't chase women because he's utterly consumed by chasing his calling? That guy, he's like a black hole. Women get powerfully pulled in. Why? Because he doesn't just flirt aimlessly, he moves with intent. And in that focused movement, she finds a unique sense of security, momentum, and shared meaning. Here's what most guys completely miss. It's not necessarily about being wildly successful yet. It's about having a clear vision, a dream you're genuinely willing to bleed for, a goal that pulls you out of bed with determination. Even if you're broke today, if your soul's authentically on fire with purpose, she'll feel that heat. And when a woman senses that deep fire, she instinctively wants to sit beside it. She wants to help nurture it. Not because she needs rescuing, but because it makes her feel like she's part of something lasting, something significant. Real purpose? It's sexier than a six-pack. Purpose is protection. Purpose makes your quiet moments resonate louder than someone else's shouting. So if you're asking how to truly win a woman's soul, stop chasing her so desperately. Chase your why with everything you've got. She'll follow that unwavering flame like a moth drawn to light in the night. Sign 7 addresses her hidden yearning to be led without feeling controlled. Okay, this one is delicate territory. Misinterpret it, and you instantly come off as a controlling, toxic cliche. But hear it right, truly grasp it, and you unlock one of the deepest, most primal female desires. Even the strongest women often harbor a secret fantasy to surrender just a little, but only to a man who's strong enough, calm enough, and genuinely wise enough to actually deserve that trust. This is absolutely not about domination. It's about leadership, not control, guidance, not commands. It's primal, ancient wiring. Women, biologically and psychologically, are often more finely attuned to potential threats and unpredictability. So when a man walks in radiating clarity, decisive direction, and grounded authority, not arrogance, she feels a safety and security she rarely finds on her own. That's her weakness. She wants to let go of the reins just a little bit, but only when she trusts deeply that you know the road ahead. Let me put it this way. She doesn't want a dictator barking orders. She wants a confident captain. She'll be an active co-pilot all day long. She'll speak her mind, push back, challenge ideas. But when the real storms hit, she desperately wants to know deep in her bones that you're firmly holding the wheel with steady hands. Simple example. When she says, "I don't care, you choose where we eat," she absolutely doesn't mean you're suddenly her boss. She's subtly saying, "Lead me somewhere and do it with quiet confidence." When you hesitate, waffle, or ask endless clarifying questions, She doesn't feel liberated, she feels oddly abandoned, like the burden is back on her. But when you simply say, "Let's go here. Trust me, you'll love it," and you say it with calm conviction, watch your body language shift, watch her soften, relax. That's the signal you got it right. Sign 8 is her vulnerability to words that paint vivid new worlds. You want to talk about a real superpower? Forget telepathy or X-ray vision. The real power, the one that's been breaking hearts and building empires since the dawn of time, is language used masterfully. And here's the raw deal. Women are often wired differently when it comes to connection. They bond powerfully through words. It's not just idle talk, it's transportation. When you speak with real intent, not slick game, but authentic depth, you can literally pull her out of mundane reality and into something expansive, something meaningful. That's her 8th weakness, a mind and heart that respond to potent words the way a flame responds to oxygen. They ignite. You don't need to be Shakespeare. You just need to speak like a man who genuinely feels the weight of what he's saying. When you say something like, "I love your mind," don't toss it out like a casual compliment. Say it like it's a profound discovery, the first time your soul has truly brushed against hers. When you tell her she fascinates you, say it like you've uncovered something ancient and remarkable hidden behind her eyes. Women fall deeply for words that feel earned, authentic, not borrowed from some meme or TikTok quote. Words that resonate because they come from your own lived experience, your own bones. Why? Because the right words do so much more than flatter. They create a spacious landscape for her imagination to roam freely. And here's the crucial key. When a woman starts genuinely imagining a life intertwined with yours, when your voice and your words become part of her own internal dialogue, she's already halfway, maybe more, in love. So don't ever underestimate this power. Learn to paint pictures with your truth. Not fake, not overly slick, just your reality expressed with a bit of rhythm and weight. Say what you mean, but say it like it truly matters. She'll hear it resonate in her heart, not just her ears. That's her weakness. Her soul has this deep, unspoken craving for language that breathes life and possibility. Sign 9, the final piece, the unspoken, almost paradoxical need for a man who can calmly walk away. And here we land at the last weakness, the one hardly anyone talks about because, frankly, it makes people squirm a bit. It's the undeniable power of healthy detachment. Here's the core paradox. The moment a woman senses, deep down, that you need her more than you actively choose her, she instinctively starts pulling away, not because she's cruel, but because human nature inherently distrusts desperation. It feels unstable, burdensome. And yet, flip the script. The moment she realizes you could walk away, not out of spite or anger, but simply because you respect yourself and your boundaries that profoundly, she often starts leaning in. That's the 9th weakness in action. Women fall powerfully for men who don't fundamentally fear losing them. It's not arrogance, it's a deep-seated stoicism and self-assurance. A man who is fundamentally whole without her, who values her immensely but doesn't emotionally collapse in her absence, who can love deeply, passionately, yet still remain solidly independent and self-contained. That man, he's unforgettable. Why? Because he doesn't try to bind her with chains of neediness. Instead, he invites her into a spacious freedom within the relationship. And that kind of man, he's incredibly rare. The ones who don't beg or plead, the ones who stay fully committed when it's right, and who can leave with quiet dignity, grace, and a look that clearly says, "I loved you deeply, but I love and respect myself too," when it's wrong. When a woman encounters that kind of man, she doesn't just want him superficially. She develops a profound, enduring respect for him. And once she truly respects you, absolutely everything changes in the dynamic. So, here's the uncomfortable truth most men run from. Sometimes your deliberate silence speaks infinitely louder than any words you could muster. Sometimes the most powerful, attractive move you can possibly make is simply being willing to walk away calmly if your core values are disrespected. And she'll feel that potential, that quiet strength deep in her gut, visceral, ancient, undeniable. That's the ultimate weakness, the quiet, unsettling realization of potentially losing a man who doesn't cower before the prospect of loss itself. Strive to be that man. It changes everything.